Welcome to the Escoffier Externship Lab. Congratulations for making it this far and completing your program up to this point. My name is Annette Martinez-Smith and I am your Pastry Arts Career Service Representative. I am here to support you in the process of meeting the academic requirements for completing school, and that is completing the capstone course of externship. So welcome today. I read a quote the other day that says, "You haven't come this far just to come this far." So I welcome you today, and I respect all of the sacrifices that you've made along the way of investing in your education and investing in your passion. So welcome. Today in our externship lab, we have some talking points we're going to go over. We're going to go over academic basic requirements that are needed from you, the externship paperwork requirement, which is super important, and the plan to successfully secure an opportunity in the industry if in fact you are not working currently. And we'll have some action items at the end. So just to introduce myself to you, again, my name is Annette. I've been career advising in the industry for over 7 years, and in my experience, I've seen a lot of successes, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So I would like to say that all of my advice is good advice. So it's from experience, and it's my expertise in really assisting students to work in the industry, and that includes externship preparation and planning. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Let's start with the externship basics. Academic relies on every single student for the responsibility of securing their own externship site or their own job. So every student is responsible for that. You know yourself best, you know your circumstances best and your goal. So that's what you're going to need to do. It's my role to go ahead and support you in that process and be able to support the activity and the effort that you're putting forth to be able to job search. 3 things that academics wants you to keep in mind is that you need to be working in a commercial kitchen. You need to be supervised by someone with a food services background. And you have a minimum of 150 hours to submit during the 6-week time frame that you are scheduled for your industry externship course. There's a start date and an end date. It's during that period of time that you are getting credit for working in the industry. What can you do? So what position will you get credit for? Well, you can have a baking and pastry position, or you can have a savory position or culinary related position, or a combination of both. You will get credit for any of this. I do have a side note though for pastry. Now, there are businesses that do require you to work front of house as well, and that's okay as long as it's a rotation. So you're going back of house, front of house, that type of thing, anything that has to do with kitchen operations. Typically in the pastry industry, we do understand that you have to have front of house duties as well. So as long as you have a good rotation of back and front that you're doing, that's okay. That will be counted as credit. And you can be doing savory or culinary positions, maybe prep cook, garnicher, maybe you're plating. So all of that is good. Maybe you're working cold station. All of that you'll get credit for. So if that's your job now, or that's what your interest is, you can definitely get credit for that. A combination of both, there may be opportunities for you to do both, and that is okay as well. What type of site can you be working at or volunteering with? Again, this can be a paid position or a volunteer position. So I've listed out some examples for you here as far as grocery store, bakery, deli, freestanding bakeries, cafes, restaurants, hotels, event centers, catering businesses that do their food service in a commercial kitchen, also country club resort types of kitchens as well. There's also some institutional kitchens that are in the range of hospitals and schools, nursing homes, convalescent facilities, maybe some VA buildings that have their own kitchens. Correctional facilities will fall into that as well. Retirement communities and assisted living communities that may have their own kitchens, and also nonprofit kitchens, so soup kitchens, community organizations, shelters. You can get credit for those types of positions as well. So there's a wide range of kitchens that you can be in. You can also be in fast casual too, and if you have any of those available and you're interested in that, that's also fine too. That would fall in line with the franchises of Chipotle or Rubio's or Baja Fresh, you know, those types of fast casual sites as well. All right, so show me the paperwork. This is really, really important. If you don't remember anything that we talk about today, you just need to remember this one thing. You can't graduate without submitting this paperwork. Hands down, that's it. So having the externship agreement and the site agreement, this is what I'm going to show you right now. The due date is for submitting this paperwork is the first week of your last lab class. So you and I will be talking, look at your schedule, but that week that you start week 1 of your last lab class, that is the time that you should be submitting the paperwork if you haven't done so already. So that works around to be about 6 weeks before your externship day 1. And in your last lab class, you will be getting credit for submitting your paperwork. This paperwork is super important because we do have to qualify, we as Career Services has to qualify and verify and approve your site. We cannot do that without your paperwork. Academics will show that you are not eligible to move on in your program if you do not have this paperwork submitted. So that's what's, and you will get access to your digital timesheet to submit hours while you're in externship because you submitted this paperwork. So you want to make sure that it's really important. But again, you don't have to memorize any of that. Just know you need it to graduate. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the paperwork. Okay, so we're looking at the paperwork here. So I want you to take note that there are 2 documents that comprise the externship paperwork. It's the externship agreement. You can see it by the title here. That's the first document. Second document is the site agreement. The first document is the externship agreement, and it is comprised of 2 pages. We're looking at page 1, and this is for you as the student to complete. You'll be checking off EX201 and your course start date. This is day 1 of your externship, your industry externship course. So look at your schedule. You and I will be talking and we'll verify that date. That's the date that you put there for your industry externship course start date. You're going to fill it out with your name and your contact information. Your program is Pastry Arts. You'll be signing it and dating it. So these papers have to be printed out and completed by hand by both you and the site, your site supervisor, which is coming up next. Page 2 of the externship agreement is for your site supervisor. They will fill it out with their name and job title, the site name and location, and your position there, your employment start date, or the date that you started volunteering on site. That main supervisor is going to sign it and deed it here at the bottom. This is the supervisor who's going to be authorizing your timesheets on a weekly basis. If they decide to choose a backup person to also authorize your time, they can do so. This person is called a proxy, and you'll see at the bottom underneath the supervisor's signature, there is room for a backup person as a proxy to put their name, job title, and signature there. But this is an option if the main supervisor wants a backup person to also authorize your time. So this is the externship agreement, which has 2 pages to it. So you as the student fill out the first page, your supervisor fills out the second page. The site agreement is next. This is the second document. This is for your supervisor to fill out, and they're going to fill it out with the site name and location. They're going to sign it and date it as well. Same information, but a different document. And you will be emailing that to Career Services. At the end of this externship lab, you'll have all the contact information that you need in order to email that. So this is what we need 6 weeks before you go out on externship to show that you can qualify for the Industry Externship course and complete the program. Okay. And we're going to get back to our externship lab. Okay, great. So we have down the paperwork. I have the email here for you just in case, the careerservices@escoffier.edu. And that's where we'll start the process of verifying, qualifying, and approving your site officially when we have that paperwork in. So I'll be the first person that you contact, congratulate you when you have an opportunity. I'll take down some details, put that in your student record, and then I'll be prepared within 72 hours to receive your paperwork. And I have an assistant, an assistant that will actually, Sharia Jackson, who will process our paperwork for us as well. Okay, so now we get to the really fun part, and this is the part where our students successfully secure an opportunity by working this process and working the plan. So we want you to follow the steps of our most successful students and graduates who have secured an opportunity for themselves. Whether you're looking for a job or you're looking for that volunteer opportunity, the process stays the same. And I'll give it to you in a nutshell. You're basically showing up at businesses each week in person, having conversations and talking to them about what you're interested in. You're visiting about 3 to 4 businesses each week. So this is a process that you really have to commit to. And even though it might be scary, I'm here with you to partner with you and help to develop an opportunity. You just have to be committed to showing up on site, because that's something that no one can do for you. So show up on site and have those conversations, and I'll help you with that. So in the second part of the plan here that you see, I am going to actually email you what's called a site visit packet. And in this packet, you're not only going to have the externship paperwork that we talked about, but you're going to have a personalized letter of interest that's created just for you. It's like a cover letter. It's outlining your externship and introducing yourself. I'll also give you an externship fact sheet, which answers questions that employers might have. But there are 2 documents that I would really like to create for you. And it's called a customized marketing portfolio. And this consists of a pastry and baking focused resume and a sample portfolio of your work. In my experience, I have found these two documents to be the most effective. Students that use these are typically the ones that are the first to get hired and first to get an opportunity because they're using these on their site visits. So I'd like to jump ahead in a slide and actually show you now what this looks like. This looks like a typical customized marketing portfolio where I have pictures of your work developed on one page, and I have a baking and pastry focused resume for you. So that's something that I can do for you, and that will be part of our follow-up together. Awesome. So these documents are really super important and effective because when you leave something in hand with an employer and you walk away, you need the confidence that those documents are talking for you when you can't talk for yourself. And that's the reason why they can be so effective. Okay, what do you wear on a site visit? In my experience, I do recommend that you wear your chef coat, your black pants, your non-skid shoes, hair combed neatly off the face, minimal makeup for my ladies, and short, clean nails, no jewelry, and no perfume. If you have a decorating kit that's sanitized, that's clean, that's folded up in a kit that you can actually take with you, a few of my students have said that has been really helpful for them because on some of their site visits, they've been asked, well, you can, let's demonstrate decorating a cookie. And they had their decorating kit with them, and that really helped them to be able to do a good job versus using someone else's equipment. So that might be something that you might want to keep in mind. It's not a required thing, but it might be a nice to have just in case someone says, hey, why don't you demonstrate decorating a cookie or something like that on the spot. But at least if you dress like a back of the house, you not only are ready to be in that kitchen, tour that kitchen, but you look like a back of the house person, and that's really important in the employer's mind. Okay, the next thing I want to talk with you about, if you're taking notes, this is a good time to take notes on the 1, 2, 3 approach to having the conversation on site on what do I say. Now, being committed to the process is being committed to having these conversations and showing up on site. So I'm going to show you a focused way to do this. Now, in my experience, I have learned that it's best not to confuse the employer. So you don't ever have to mention externship when you're job searching. It is good to mention that you are in school and a pastry arts upcoming graduate, but you don't have to necessarily mention externship. So the 1, 2, 3 approach focuses your conversation on one or the other. First of all, number 1, focus on the job. And number 2 is focus on the volunteer position. Number 3 is ask for that referral business. Now this is how I can demonstrate it for you. So if I'm job searching, I'm actually going to just focus on the job. So I'm doing the 1, 2, 3 approach, and I'm going to start off by saying, hi, my name is Annette Martinez-Smith. I'm an upcoming pastry arts graduate. I just love your site. I wanted to come in because I'm looking for that right fit experience, and I want to talk with you about your application process. That's it. Very simple. So you're just in there letting them know you're a pastry arts student or upcoming pastry arts graduate, looking for that right fit experience. You like their site. You want to ask them about the application process. That starts the conversation to talking about if they're hiring, how to apply. You're going to take notes on what do I do to apply? Online, in person, who can I follow up with? So that's going to be really important for you. Now, if they say they are not hiring, then you can switch the conversation over if you so choose. If you can afford to do a volunteer unpaid position and that's in your plan, and you love the site and you're willing to do it, then go to step number 2. If not, then go to step number 3, but I'll demonstrate all 3 steps. So number 2 is focus on the volunteer position. They've just told you that they're not hiring, or they're accepting applications, but they're not hiring. So you can switch the conversation over to a volunteer opportunity. So you can say, okay, well, thank you for letting me know that. My school actually gives me credit to volunteer my time and work alongside a kitchen team. Is that something that you can consider here? I'd be willing to do a working interview if that would help you. And then see what they say about that. If in fact they're considering it, there's 2 things in the mind of the employer that are of concern. First of all, it's insurance reason, liability reason. I am going to give you a certificate of liability, and so you can have that. That's something that you can present to them. Number 2, they're probably asking themselves, what does your school want you to do? And so you can let them know that you can do anything that has to do with kitchen operations. So again, if you focus on the volunteer opportunity, it will sound something like this. My program gives me credit to volunteer my time to work alongside a kitchen team for part-time, 6 weeks. Is that something you can consider? I can do anything with kitchen operations, and I can provide to you a certificate of liability. That's it. Have the conversation and see if that's something they can consider. Offer a working interview, a stage, and see if that would help them make a decision. If not, if in fact you presented these 2 options and they say, no, we're not hiring, or no, we can't take interns or volunteers, then go to the 3rd step, ask for a referral business. So when it comes to something like this, I have certain graduates and students who are working right now because they took advantage of this 3rd step. So ask for a referral business looks something like this. Okay, well, thank you for that information. Can I get the names of a couple of other kitchens in the area that might need an extra set of hands? And then be ready to take down the names of those kitchens that they tell you. Your next point of business with that information is site visits with that kitchen, 1 or 2 kitchens that they told you. Now you're going to go to those kitchens on a site visit. So it's going to sound something like this. Oh, hi, Terry. Hi. You know, Ian at Blue Dog Bakery actually referred me over to speak with you. He did? Yeah, he did. Well, my name is Annette Martinez-Smith. I'm an upcoming pastry arts graduate, and I'm looking for that right fit experience and wanted to ask you about your application process. So you're going into the 1, 2, 3 approach again. You don't have to change it. That's the beauty of this process, is the site visit plan of 3 to 4 businesses each week and the 1, 2, 3 approach for conversation. You never have to change it. Even if people are rejecting you or telling you no or whatever, that's okay. It still works. You're still going to use it over and over and over again. You don't have to change up anything. It's just a matter of getting to that right opportunity for you. That's all. And sometimes timing is there that makes a difference. But the process never changes. So keep using the process. Trust the process. It works. I have a lot of experience with this, and I have a lot of students that use this process. Follow up with me in order to receive support and assistance, because I can help you develop the opportunity. So that is something that we will partner together with, and that will help keep you moving forward and supported. And I'll know best how to help you out when I know what's going on. Awesome. All right. So we have some follow-up to do. We've come to the end of our externship lab, and now it is time for you to please send me an email that you have completed the externship lab. I'd also like you to think about your area and your community. Think about what sites interest you and what sites you're first going to target for your site visit conversations. I'd like you to list me 3 sites of interest in your area in that email. And that's going to help me help you. I'm going to then prepare your site visit packet for you, because remember, I'm going to personalize it with that letter of interest. And I'm also going to schedule a brief call. I'm going to discuss your personal plan for externship and how to receive your customized marketing portfolio. Very important, and I'm really excited to do that for you. So it'll just be a brief call, not as long as this externship lab, but I'll be able to talk with you about how we can get that to you as soon as possible. All right, so let's keep connected. I told you I'd give you my contact information. So there's my name. careerservices@escoffier.edu is where I can be reached through email. My cell phone number is there, 909-248-4390. Please keep that as a contact. That's how you can directly reach me and get a hold of me. And so I suggest saving that contact. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me, is through my cell phone. I thank you so much for joining me today in the externship lab. I am so excited for you. This is the most fun part of the program, is to be able to get credit for working in the industry. You get credit for doing what you love. I know you'd rather be in the kitchen than meeting here with me in an externship lab. So I really look forward to this most fun part and exciting part. And I thank you so much for the time that you've spent today. And I look forward to that email that you're going to send me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.